Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video, and today we are here for more F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, and we have the Russian Grand Prix. And before we go anywhere, we're going to have a look at the Drivers' Championship. Valtteri Bottas and Max Verstappen are equal on points going into this weekend, but Mercedes have made a bunch of upgrades, pushing themselves further ahead of the field, so they're really looking to make a title charge, but at the moment it's oh so close. But unfortunately, that could be on the verge of changing as we enter the final 6 races of the championship season. And here in Russia, it will actually rain like in the real life Grand Prix. It's going to rain at the end, 70%. So that is quite heavy, but just about light rain. So we maybe could look at an intermediate stint. But now we sim through quick practice, and I'm feeling confident for this weekend after a few upgrades. So let's see how we can do in qualifying. So we move on to our first run of qualifying 1, and we're in the final sector. It's been quite a cautious lap as I'm still getting used to the car after not playing on this career mode for a little bit of a while. But here we go through the final 2 corners. The grip is actually, it really is there in the car. I actually feel like I can really push through the corners, through the final corner, across the line, and we've gone P8. But of course I know I can do better as my first sector was quite awkward. And now we look to Mick Schumacher. What can he do here? He'll go up to P19. So even with that pretty bad lap, we're P16. And I know I can improve, so Q2 could very well be on the cards here. And now we move on to my final run of Q1, and I'm improving by just about 3/10 here, going into the final 2 corners. It's a massive improvement from my last lap. And now around the final corner, where will we end up? It looks like we were P15, and we've made it through into Q2 once again. I think this could actually be a really good weekend. I don't even think that was my best lap either, so I think I could improve, but unfortunately Robert Schwartzman in his home Grand Prix could not make it through, so we'll have to press on without our teammate once again. But we move on to Q2. First run, I've decided to use my set from Q1, as you know, we don't want to use a fresh set too early on. We'll not have another lap in later on in the session. So here we go around the final 2 corners once again. It's been a pretty decent lap. I decided to be a bit more aggressive through the corners. And what will we end up doing? We did a quicker lap than we did in Q1. So that is absolutely amazing news. Another big improvement can be found if we set a lap on the new fresh tyres. And here we are at the very end of Q2, round the final few corners. And I think this lap has been yet another brilliant lap for me. Can we actually get into Q3? We're improving by 3.5 tenths, going into the final corner, 4 tenths gain. What would it be? And I think that was just about P11 on the grid. Incredible. Let's have a look at the full grid to confirm where we are.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position. Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Perez, Max Verstappen and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Sainz, Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda. The owner driver, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, Raikkonen, Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi and Esteban Ocon, Schwartzman, Latifi, Mick Schumacher and Nikita Mazepin. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So we move into the formation lap, and look at that, P11 on the grid, nearly getting into Q3 for the first time in our whole career. That is incredible. It was a good lap, I believe, but actually I'm kind of glad we didn't get into Q3, as I can now start on the mediums and prepare for the rain later on. And as usual, a few of the front runners like Mercedes and Red Bull have gone for the medium tyres as well. They can afford to set a quick enough lap time on the mediums so they can just start on the medium tyres and go the distance. However, I'm not sure if the AI will be preparing for the rain like I am. I'm looking to go as far as we can, just so we can gain an advantage if we switch to the inters. However, this is a risky decision. But now we're revving up our tyres and revving up the car as we rev up to 5 red lights here for the Russian Grand Prix.
The rest of the grid is forming up. Be patient and watch for the lights.
The lights are here and they're out, and we are underway here for the Russian Grand Prix, and it's a decent start. What a start from Yuki Tsunoda. Carlos Sainz has actually gone down there, and Tsunoda's up into P8. I've actually managed to get wheel to wheel with the Ferrari. We're all flying down into turn 1. Sergio Perez will send it on Valtteri Bottas at turn 1. Meanwhile, Carlito will do the same and move up the field. What a start from those two. Meanwhile, I'm up into P9. We've overtaken Leclerc and Gasly, and we're just behind Yuki Tsunoda, and I'm happy to settle there for a little bit. As we move into turn 4, I do go a bit wide, and Leclerc had a look at my inside line. Thankfully, I was able to stay ahead there. But that was an absolutely brilliant start. We needed to do well there on the medium tyres. Not that it's too important, but we need to try and keep up with the guys in front. If we're not able to do that, we could have a tricky time. There is a bit of fighting up front, so I'm going to have a go at Yuki. Down the inside! And normally, you don't make an overtake over there, but I just did. Up into P8. What a great start for me. I don't think there's ever been a better start in this career mode for me this season. And now we're all over the back of Carlito here. Ferrari power versus Ferrari power on the straight. We do actually make contact, but I get close to the wall and go to the inside line, and we do break in time just so we don't hit the McLaren, and we've managed to overtake Sainz. He had a look at us down the inside, but thankfully we're able to stay ahead. Meanwhile, in the lead, Valtteri Bottas on the mediums, doing exactly what he needs to do. He is in the lead and is starting to already get a bit of a gap to Sergio Perez. A bit concerning that the Mercedes is so quick. Meanwhile, for me, we move over to lap 3 here, and Carlito isn't looking to stick around in P8. He will have a look at my outside line, and that should be the move. I do leave him the room, and in doing so, I actually went a bit wide, and Yuki Tsunoda will try and have a look down the inside through turn 3, and he actually gets the move done, and I can't really do anything about it. I have to tuck in behind and focus on the exit, which is what I did, and I'll be looking to come back at the AlphaTauri down the inside at turn 5, and that gets me back up into P8. But now I really need to try and keep up with Sainz up ahead. If he pulls away, we'll be absolutely a sitting duck on that main straight. And talking of being a sitting duck, Yuki Tsunoda is being attacked by Charles Leclerc here on lap 4, and crucially, Charles Leclerc on the mediums gets the move done. Never mind, Yuki Tsunoda is coming back at him through turn 3. Tsunoda and Leclerc going wheel to wheel, still clean side by side through turn 4, and somehow they're still going at it. Yuki Tsunoda on the inside, Leclerc on the outside. How can he actually manage to hold it? No, and we move on later in the lap, and somehow they're still going wheel to wheel. They're holding up a massive train, while that allows me and Carlito to get away further and further into the distance. But Yuki Tsunoda and Charles Leclerc are just not willing to give up here. Onto the DRS straight. Somehow, both of them didn't get DRS, and that will allow Pierre Gasly to fly past the both of them. But Leclerc and Tsunoda clearly don't care that they've just lost a position. They're still going wheel to wheel. Look at that. I've never seen such fighting in Russia. And we move on. Talking of wheel to wheel action, Checo is now in trouble to Lewis Hamilton, and there isn't much the Red Bull could do. Through turn 3, Hamilton on the inside line will make the move on Sergio Perez, and that will move a Mercedes up into P2, and it's a 1-2 for Mercedes. But Checo did a good job in holding up Hamilton there. Maybe Verstappen could try and catch up. Meanwhile, with me, I'm trying my dear best to keep up with the Ferrari, but of course eventually we're going to be dropped out of DRS, and here on lap 6, that is exactly what has happened. I did do my best, and we did actually manage to keep ourselves in DRS for quite longer than I expected. But unfortunately, now we kind of have to fend for ourselves. But we do have a bit of clean air. We're not in dirty air, and we have a nice gap behind us, so we can kind of chill out here in P8. But unfortunately, we will not be getting near Carlito anytime soon. We skip over to lap 10, and the clouds are starting to settle in here around the Sochi circuit. I have a bit of news from my engineer.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
Now that is really quite crucial. If it does rain in about 15 minutes, that should be around maybe lap 20 to lap 22, around there. So that means there should be enough time for it to really...
Rain is forecast in just over 10 minutes time. Rain in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you're just gonna cut over me while I'm talking. Very big thanks to Jeff there. But 10 minutes now. Now that is a big announcement. 10 minutes till the rain will fall down, which is absolutely vital for my plan. Oh, Giovinazzi has spun around out of nowhere. Giovinazzi spins the car 180 degrees, and thankfully, I don't think we'll have a safety car. Mazepin is a bit too far back to really get collected. Meanwhile, a few cars did pit on lap 10, including Lewis Hamilton, and look at the traffic he is in. He's just ahead of my teammate Schwartzman, and now he has to somehow keep up the pace to be ahead of the Red Bull. But we now move on to lap 11, and look how cloudy it has become here in Russia.
Some rain about 10 to 15 minutes from now. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
So that really will turn a few heads. Meanwhile, 2 cars in front of me are in the pit lane, so we're up into P2, which is insane, but I don't think obviously we're going to finish here today. It really does depend on the rain, doesn't it? We could pit in for the soft tyres later on, but I'm willing to take a gamble, and we move on to the end of lap 15. And here is something very concerning about the field spread in Season 1. Valtteri Bottas has moved onto the soft tyre and has come out in the lead of the Grand Prix, which that is extraordinary how quick that Mercedes is. But we don't really care about the race win. We're looking to get as many points as we can. And at the end of lap 16, I look behind me, and the other Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton is getting ahead of Charles Leclerc on the straight, which that is kind of intimidating. We've got a Mercedes behind us, and we definitely do not have the car of a Mercedes. Charles Leclerc has to yield and actually runs into the pit lane at the end of the lap. Meanwhile for me, round the final corner, I had a little bit of a moment, and now Lewis Hamilton should really have an easy move here on the straight. He's got the powerful Mercedes engine, and now the DRS will pull him along and easily overtake me. So we're down into P3, but hopefully the rain will show up at any second now, helping us out. And we have more weather news here.
Suggests some weather is going to hit in around 5 minutes time, so stay on your toes.
So there is now about 5 minutes to expected rainfall, and as I don't want to kill the action for P2, I'm going to let the Red Bull guys through so they can hopefully try and catch up to Lewis Hamilton, maybe attempt to win the Grand Prix. That's all I can hope for, and I will get a bit of DRS from doing that. But for now, it's not really about fighting anybody. Our tyres are way too degraded to really try and fight with these people. So we're just going to do the obvious and let them go when it's most convenient. So here goes Lando Norris right behind us, and he should just have an easy overtake on my right hand side. I don't really put up too much of a fight as we are waiting for the rain. But now we are down to P6, which isn't bad. It is a brilliant result if we could actually finish here today. But now Daniel Ricciardo is right behind me, but I don't think he'll be close enough to really make an overtake on this straight. So going into the next few corners, I'm just going to take it easy and stay ahead. And oh, Ricciardo hit me! Daniel Ricciardo actually tapped the back of my car, and now he has damage to the front wing. We skip over to lap 21. He had to pit, and unfortunately for Ricciardo, that is a championship-defining moment for him, as now it's basically destroyed his hopes. He's going to get no points today. Meanwhile, we move on to the start of lap 22, and if you look to the halo, you can see droplets of rain. It's finally starting to rain here in Russia, which is exactly what we need. It's going to rain for quite a while till the end of the Grand Prix, and that could actually really help us seal some points here today. But it isn't raining exactly very quickly here. Hopefully it will rain a bit more, but at the moment we need the rain to hurry up a little bit.
Okay, be careful on those slicks. These conditions are making the line a bit greasy, but we're still nowhere near the changeover point.
Well, that is not what we needed to hear. If we do pit in on this lap, we will definitely be sacrificing a top 10 finish. So we have to hope it rains more. My DRS has actually failed, and at the end of lap 25, it seems like a hopeless situation because the rain, it's not raining heavily enough. I don't think anyone will be moving on to the intermediates. And just like that, we're going to be losing the top 10. Unbelievable. What the hell happened to the rain? 70%. This is 70% chance of rain. Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. We're in the pit lane for the first and the only time of the Grand Prix. And we're not going to score points here today. We may as well pit onto the soft tyres. And that is absolutely frustrating. Where the hell did the rain go? What is the point having a bit of rain on the weather forecast if it isn't going to actually rain enough? So that's basically race over. We come out of the pit lane in P14, and that is really irritating. How have we ended up in P14 here today? The least we can do really is try and push on and catch up to Stroll, which is what I've done on much fresher tyres, but clearly the plan has not worked, and it really could have worked if it rained more. Down the inside of Stroll, we make the move easily, but just like that, in an instant, our race has been turned upside down because of the lack of rain. Yet in real life, there was a lot of rain. So here we are, going into the final lap, and there really isn't much point in me showing you me driving around. So let's move on to our race winner, who has dominated every single lap. Valtteri Bottas wins and extends his championship lead. What a win for Mercedes, and they are truly back to dominating fashion. Meanwhile for us, we have to feel gutted. We've basically been robbed of a points finish because of the rain. Unbelievable that the gamble didn't work, but we crossed the line in P13 after showing strong pace, and that is what matters.
A great race then, and a fantastic win here in Sochi. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
So that is it, everyone. We've learned a valuable lesson, and don't rely on the rain in F1 2021. That will end today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye.
Points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
I'll probably go for Pierre Gasly. The team did a good job with the strategy to put him in amongst the pack, but it's the driver's job to capitalise on those opportunities, and he did so with a lot of skill.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time? Be sure to join us again as we continue to bring you the latest excitement in Formula One.
Life golden, yeah, we're golden, baby girl, we're golden. They're about to see us shine, 'cause we're golden. They can't ever break us down.